Hi everybody and welcome to Fantasy Golf Picks. Once again, it's myself and Kit Alexander. First of all, did you watch it last night?
Oh, absolutely, yeah. Bay Hill, it was set up so brilliantly. Obviously not a European Tour event, but so many European Tour players involved, and right up there was Lee Westwood. I loved it. I thought it was great entertainment. You've got to respect what Bryson's done, even if you find him somewhat tiresome, shall we say, as an individual and a character. And when he started thanking his sponsors at the end, I'm just just make it easier for people to like you, Bryson. You're really good at golf, but when you start a winner's interview with, first of all, I'd like to thank all my sponsors, I was just like, we know they pay you a lot of money. But that aside, he played really, really well, and Westwood made him earn it. I was so impressed with what Lee was able to do in that situation alongside Bryson. You know, Lee's his own man now. He's seen it and done it all pretty much, barring the major, and he wasn't going to be intimidated. He wasn't going to let Bryson affect what he was doing. And I think that's a great example to a lot of other players when you do play with and against Bryson of how to go about your business. Would have been amazing if Westy had got it done, but still huge credit to him and huge credit to Bryson as well. It was a good victory. Where do you stand on the DeChambeau hype train or hate train?
Well, I mean, when I said, did you watch it? I was talking about Harry and Meghan.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, no, did not watch.
Nah, I'm kidding.
No.
Yeah, where do I stand on the Bryson thing? I go along the lines of, in golf, we don't really have teams, do we, other than Ryder Cup? So I quite like hero-villain scenarios just to get everybody talking. And Bryson is somebody now that I'll speak to non-golfers and they're like, yeah, what about that guy that hits it a long way? Where other than kind of Rory, Tiger, I've never had that before. I had it with Michelle Wee actually in the women's game. So I like that. And there is a definite Bryson effect amongst us golf pros of hitting it further. He is moving the needle. I thought last night was great because you just saw, Westwood going like that way and then Bryson going that way, but they both made four. So there's the rollback is more than likely going to happen at some point. But I like what Westwood says, where we are right now is really cool. Like if it gets too daft, then fair enough. But right now you've got, Westwood's pushing 50. I think he's 20 years older than Bryson, actually, because Bryson's 27. Going against Bryson. Then you've got a Jordan Spieth coming back. And I didn't think I'd be this excited about golf without Tiger. So that's fair play. And obviously we're still during a pandemic as well. I'm not playing golf, but I'm watching it and going, yeah, this is really cool. So from an athlete point of view, I admire Bryson for what he does because he has a lot of hard work to get where he is. It doesn't just come naturally or overnight. He has worked extremely hard. So hats off to him. And he's winning the big events. So he is doing stuff well. Like we said before, it might not be uber consistent, but the courses he's winning at and the events he's winning, really, really good. I got quite excited about that. Yeah, so it's nice. It's nice to get excited, Kit. It was, and I often think, what's going to happen? Yeah, what's going to happen when life gets back to normal and I can't sit on a sofa for 8 hours and justify it? So,
I can still justify sitting on the sofa and watching 8 hours of golf on a Sunday. Don't worry.
Well, this week we could be doing that as well because the European Tour are in Qatar. Obviously, the PGA Tour are at the Players' Championship. So, we can do more than 8 hours this week.
More than 8 hours, yeah.
Yeah. So we've got the Qatar Masters over in Doha. What do you know about the event and the golf course?
First of all, we both appear to be wearing the colours pretty much of the Qatar flag, which is purely accidental on my part. I don't know if you've put more thought into this, but we're very on brand with the Qatar Masters with our colour choices today. But to get to the serious business, Qatar is a place that's been on the schedule on the European Tour for a while now, although it's moved from Doha Golf Club to Education City Golf Club last year. So we don't have as much historical data or form to go on. We've really just got 1 year. And essentially, if you look at the way the leaderboard panned out last year, with Jorge Campillo winning it, David Drysdale just losing out in a playoff in his 498th European Tour start, heartbreakingly. He's still looking for that win. And you go even further beyond that, it shows that distance is not really important at Education City at all. It measures 7,307 yards. It's a par 71. It's a pretty immature new golf course. And the players that did well are those that shone particularly in putting and in short game. So a little bit of an antidote to what we often see, which is the bombers all and the ball strikers all get into position, and then the guy that putts best that week out of them wins. We've kind of got the other side of that coin where, of course, great ball striking and hitting it a long way is never a bad thing. But ultimately, it's the guys that putted well and were very tidy around the greens who got to the top of the leaderboard last year. So my kind of focus has been to forget about length and to look at who are the best short game exponents, who's got a little bit of form, and also wind is often a factor there. The Education City course is not that far from Doha. They're not that far from the coast. There's always a bit of a breeze, it seems, around there. So, you know, a really interesting profile of golfer, in my mind, we're looking for this week. What did your research throw up?
Well, first of all, I was like, Qatar, tick, played there, know what the course is like. Then looked at it and thought, oh, like you did, it's changed. I kind of forgot last year it had changed. So those of you that are into football, you will see the stadium for the World Cup. It's just right by that golf course. So I don't have that much experience on it, whereas thinking, oh, I normally do have a bit of experience on it. I think it's still a desert course, so we've still got to look for people that play well in the desert. I'm still going to go along with people that have a good record at Qatar, just because, and I think it's got a similar thing. It looks a bit Jumeirah Golf Estates. It might not be as big as Jumeirah, like the Earth course, but I'm edging to players that have done all right round there. The field it's a proper European Tour field this week, isn't it? Just because of the Players' Championship. So I'm expecting that we might have a few different choices, especially because I've just been listening to you and you're going, yeah, I'm not going long hitters, I'm going people with short. I'm thinking, oh, do I need to start changing my team? But I think that's why I've been quite excited about this week as well. So far, if we look at the leaderboards, okay, Brian Soplet has got 9,084 points and he leads the global leagues. Okay, you've got just over 5,000. I've got just over 4,000 points. So I need a little bit of work to do to catch up on you. But that puts us in the top kind of quarter of that quarter of the players playing, which is, it's not too bad. But I think this is the weeks that these videos will hopefully become helpful to people. Right, who are you going with? Who's your team?
I mean, this was tricky because, as you say, we haven't got the top 50 players in the world here, really. The first few weeks we've had established world stars, and you would go, I'll look at 10 of them and see which of the 6 I'm going to pick. It was all quite in front of you, if you like. You got to do a bit more digging on these events. And as you rightly say, I think hopefully this is where we can be of a bit more help to people. We can do a bit of the digging for you. So, I mean, I managed to get it down to a sort of mid-list initially of 21 players, just to give an insight of where I went with. I had a thrilling Sunday this week, I've got to be honest. And I've got kind of 7 players, shall we say, that I'm probably going to take my 6th from. So I've got to jettison one of them, I think, at this stage. So I'll run you through my 7. I've got Antoine Rosner.
Right.
Excellent form, playing really nicely. George Kurtzier, Thomas Peters, Matthias Schwab, Adri Arnaus, Chris Paisley, and Callum Hill. So we can go into a bit more detail on them in a moment. But first, I'm curious, of those 7, how many of those are kind of on your hit list?
Right. Let me just even think if I've got any.
The fact you're having to turn pages shows the amount of research you've done. Yeah, I like
Thomas
that.
Thomas Peters is in there because he had a good little run in Saudi, came 10th. Now, we all know Thomas Peters to be this guy that hits it a very long way, a good ball striker, can struggle on his putting. Well, unlucky for him, but kind of lucky for him, he got an injury in his hand towards the end of last year. So all he could do was putt and chip. And guess what? His putting and chipping has improved massively this year. So
I've got the in front of me.
Yeah.
He has got in putting, strokes gained putting. Last year on the European Tour, he ranked 154th. So far this season, albeit a pretty small sample size, but it shows what you've said, 36th in putting. Yeah. So there's a definite improvement there. Yeah.
And new dad. So his anger issues, you know, Florence isn't going to want you seeing snapping your clubs now, Thomas. So yeah, I'm going with the new dad theme. It seems to work with the lads. But yeah, that's the only one that I've got the same.
Really?
Yeah, it is, which is good. Adriana is in there. But so mine are so far. This is another thing. I was like, is Bob Mack playing? But guess what? He pulled out yesterday. So I'm going with Andy Sullivan.
Sure.
Right. Rasmus Højgaard. Or Højgaard. Kurt Kitayama. Because I like him. He's been in my team before. Mike Lorenzo-Vera is my other one. Also was a club snapper. Now, I used to play in a pro-am with Mike, and he told me in 1 year he snapped 11 clubs. Yeah.
It's good. I like that.
Yeah.
If you snapped 11, you might as well go the full set and the final round of the year, just knock out another 3, surely, just to get there.
Yeah, and I don't know if anyone's ever seen like the biggest head-offs on tour video on YouTube. He's on that, he stars in it. And I believe that was actually in Qatar, and he was doing quite well and couldn't get out of the bunker, and then just started to just lace the bunker. So yeah, Qatar owes him one. So yeah, he's mine. So we have got a lot of, yeah. So let's go through why you're picking your boys, and then I'll go through mine.
I got a few of the guys you mentioned there were just on, like I said, my top 7. Probably 3 of the guys you mentioned are in my sort of 8 to 12, 8 to 13. If I had another little group I was looking to bring in, so they were right in and amongst my thinking. To be fair, so I can absolutely see why you've gone down that route. I mean, for Rosner, for me, recent winner, won the Golf in Dubai Championship at the back end of last year. He's got very decent short game stats. Tied 9th in Dubai to start this year. He's just been on really good form. There's in that field, he looks like one of the standout 4 or 5 names for current form and stature and growth in the game at the moment in that strength of field. George Coetzee was 7th at this venue last year. He's a great short game player. He can shape the ball. I think in the wind, if it does get up, that'll really suit him. He's an old-fashioned golfer. He controls his golf ball, controls his flight. Absolutely superb on and around the greens. And South Africans, interestingly, have a very, very good record in Qatar for whatever reason. Maybe coincidence, but that's Coetzee. Peters, he's just waiting to break out, isn't he? He should be, with no disrespect to the Qatar Masters versus the Players' Championship, for the talent Thomas Peters has got, he should be one of those Europeans playing in America at the moment in the lead up to the Masters and playing WGCs. It's not quite happened for him the last couple of years. As you mentioned, a lot of reasons why it could happen for him this year. I hope he has a big season, and this could be the start of it. You look at his name in this field and he's class, and he has been playing pretty well. He went over to Puerto Rico after the 10th in Saudi and finished 15th there as well. So he's got some good form. Matthias Schwab, I think, is just absolute dynamite in your sort of normal European Tour field. He's going to churn out the top 25s, top 20s, top 15s. He's going to get that win at some point, surely. He just looks really good in any of these type of fields. And a very, very good short game, actually. Just looking at the stats here, he was 18th strokes gained around the greens last season, 15th so far in this young season. So he's got skills there. Adrianaus, he is a bomber, but he's actually reasonably tidy enough with his short game as well. And his form has been such. 5 top 12s in his last 8 starts, going back end of last year into this year. I just think he's too good not to be up there in contention this week. Chris Paisley, I've played with him, the nicest guy you'll meet on tour, so down to earth. And what a short game and putter, just in the top sort of 20 in both stats this year and last year so far. And he finished 7th here last year as well. So obviously that suits him. Perfect profile of the type of golfer that could flourish. Finally, Callum Hill, very good putter. 4th in Saudi Arabia, couple of top 15s to finish off last season as well. So a player that's a young Scot really finding his feet on the European tour. And I think this year he could do what Bob Mack has kind of done the last couple of years and be that Scotsman to come through on tour. Suits the profile of the course. I don't know how I'm going to get rid of one of those, to be perfectly honest, because I can, and hopefully have, made quite decent cases for all of them. But obviously you can probably see where I'm leaning with what type of player I'm looking for, even though I've got a couple of guys that do shift it out there, certainly in Adrianaus and Thomas Peters as well. So I'm not putting kind of all of my eggs in that short game exponent basket.
Yeah, I think from a player point of view, this week, you've got to have the right mindset. You don't want almost that, I shouldn't be here. I shouldn't be in Qatar. I should be at the Players' Championship. So that's some of the players that I've picked. I'm hoping that they've got that mindset as, actually, this isn't the place I want to be. But if I'm going to get out of this place, I need to start playing well, be it Ryder Cup years and stuff like that as well. So I've gone for a little mix. So obviously the Andy Sullivan one, he actually started with 266 in Qatar last year and then fell away. So on that golf course. Now, I think the reason he fell away was because he hadn't won in a good 5 years. And he was getting a bit angry with himself. That feeling of, I should not be doing this. I need to be back winning. Well, obviously, he did that in the summer, didn't he? And he did it in style. So, yeah, massively. So that for me was something that I thought, yeah. And you said about short game, chipping, putting, the way he flights the ball. He's very good in all areas of the game. Hits a lot of greens in regulation. I think he's over 70% of greens in regulation. Started the year okay. He's made 4 cuts in a row. So I'm hoping that that's going to be, 466 this week. Andy, please. Yeah, Rasmus Højgaard, birthday boy this week, which I don't know is a good thing or a bad thing. I don't know about you, but I don't like playing on not in tournaments. I don't like playing on my birthday. But hopefully he does. Now, do you know how old he is?
He's about to turn 20, is that right?
Yeah, mental.
Yeah, scary, ridiculous.
Yeah, absolutely ridiculous. He's already won twice on the European Tour. Yes, he is a long hitter. Won at the Belfry. I also, and I'm not 100% sure this is right, because I know John Smart, his caddy, has had a baby recently, so I don't know if he's come back to caddying for him yet, but if John's on the bag, he's caddied for Danny Willett when he won the Masters. So you've got the youngster, but then you've got the mature caddy there. So if those two are working together this week, then hopefully that'll be good. Then I was close to putting Laurie Cantor in, really close. He's my other one, just because he started really well in Qatar last year and fell away. So I think he bookmarked 2 rounds in the 60s with the rounds in the 70s. So he's my kind of number 7, like you said. Kurt Kitayama, I've had him in my team before in the 3 kind of bigger field of, like better field events with world-class players in there. And if I put him in that, I feel like I need to put him in this. He didn't let me down at all. Came 12th actually in that Saudi event. Another winner. I like picking winners at the moment in the earlier events. I'm not looking for first-time winners at the minute. But then again, I think we will see a change in that over the next few weeks with Kenya coming up. It does hit it a long way. Played well at Saudi. And then, Mike Lorenzo-Vera. So Mr. Snap Clubs, but he's not like that now. He's a changed man. Now, he's got form in Qatar Masters before. He missed the cut at this course, but he's had a 2nd in 2019. He's had a 10th in 2018. I said this course reminds me a little bit of the Earth course. Well, he played really well there last year, didn't he? Came second DP World. Not done much yet. That's my only issue with him. He's not done a whole lot yet this year. But the way he's got a lovely short game, he hits all the shots. He's pretty good when he starts needing to think about stuff in the wind. He's very creative. So, yeah, I'm kind of going a little bit heart over head with Mike, just because I feel last year he did enough. And, Qatar, he's done well there before. So, and I know him. That's the worst thing, I think, in these people. You've done that with Chris Paisley. Oh, yeah, I know him. I'll put him in. So we both got one of them.
Perfect. I'm like, he is the exact example of what in my mind I've built as this profile of a golfer. And then, he was 7th last year at this venue. So yeah, there's that a bit of gut as well, which I think is important to go, you can do all the analytics and look at stuff, but sometimes if you've just got a feeling for someone, trust your gut. And especially perhaps at an event like this, when, we are early in the season. So I think general form you can take with a pinch of salt, because we're very early in the season. The field is so different to what the European Tour fields have been so far. So you might have a guy that's finished sort of around 20th, 30th, 40th, most of the first 2 or 3 events they've played this year. It's not standing out on paper, but when you look at the fields that was in and take those players away, he will probably have beaten a lot of the people that are in these fields over those first few weeks. Also, they haven't teed it up for a couple of weeks or 2 or 3 weeks if you're a more middle European Tour player and you didn't go over to play in the WGC. So if you are going to go with your gut over course form and perhaps the analytics at any point, an event like this is probably the time to do that. And why not? I mean, if I was going to do that, and there's a name I'm going to chuck in here, I'm interested to see if he's come up. Nicholas Lemke.
No, he's not come up. My other one was Aaron Ride, and that was just because he'd impressed so much at concession. And another player that I think would suit this layout.
Oh, plotting it round, there's no one better. So well prepared. I know Aaron very well. He was on my sort of mid list, certainly. He'll plot it around. He knows how to navigate his way around a tough golf course. I think the more difficult the test is, the higher up Aaron Rye goes in my thinking. So he would certainly be someone worth a shout. And obviously he's elevated his game. He won in Scotland last year, so he can play in the wind. But Nicholas Lemke is a really interesting one for me. And if you are looking for a bit of a punt, and I suspect if you're a bettor as well, I haven't been able to check the markets yet because we're doing this quite early on a Monday morning. I think you'll get a good price on him as well. And he probably isn't going to make it into my team, but I'm so intrigued by him. He finished last season with 3 top 11s on the bounce. The last one of those was the Golf in Dubai Championship. So that was sort of the week before the DP World Tour, which he didn't make it into. So he's not played since then. He didn't play any of I don't think he got into the field in any of the Desert Swing events earlier. So his last tournament was that Golf in Dubai Championship, but he had 3 top 11s going into that. And he finished 3rd in this event, the Qatar Masters at this course last year. If he'd have played 1 or 2 events already this year and had made a couple of cuts and shown something, he'd have been in my team. The only reason I'm erring off of him is because we just haven't got anything to go on since that Golf in Dubai Championship last year. And I don't really know what he's been up to, or, has he been practicing? Has he put the clubs down for 3 months? I don't know. But I think Lemke, if you're looking for value, could be a really interesting proposition this week as well. Yeah,
mine would probably be Dean Birdmeister as well from South Africa, talking about, you said South Africans have a good record in Qatar. Came second on the Sunshine Tour on Sunday. So I was busy messaging my South African mates going, come on, out of all of them, who would you have? And they said Dean, just because really Brandon Stone's a little bit hot and cold. Yeah, Dean. Yeah, Brandon Stone, I think, is the one that will do it, like the big occasions type thing, but you don't know where he's at. But Dean is one which I think if you want, look, I don't know, his odds will probably be a bit better, I would say, than Nicholas's. But yeah, that's somebody to bear in mind if you're looking at, good putter, South African, and on a little bit of form as well, coming from down there.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, we've got to do our expert picks as well so we won't reveal them here. You'll have to go on, it'll be on the European Tour website from sort of Tuesday afternoon onwards, I believe, and on the newsletter. So if you want to see who we've really backed, our final three, we've obviously discussed sort of 6 or 8 names each here, but we'll really put our necks on the chopping block with our expert pick. So we'll pick 3 each there. So check that out as well if you want to see who we finally sort of nutted it down to.
I think this week's going to be interesting. I think we're only going to have 1 or 2 in the same team, whereas the last few weeks we've had 4, maybe 5, and it was only the captain which has changed. So I think this will be a good one. Maybe we should do a direct head-to-head on the app. That'll be good. So
we'll put our teams out, and once we've finalised those 6, we'll get them out there, because I think there's going to be a lot of volatility between us and across the whole game this week. I really think there is.
Yeah, me too. Well, good luck to yourself, Kit, on your picks. Good luck to everybody else picking their 6. And remember, it's double points for captain, so make sure that they're a cut maker. Starts on Thursday morning, finishes on Sunday. So we've got another full 4 days of golf. I hope this video has helped you in some way. There's loads of names on there. So it's going to be an interesting week to get all your picks in. But if you have, click the like button, click the subscribe button. We'll be doing these every single week. And comment below who are you picking? Because at the minute, it's absolutely anybody. Right. Good luck, Kit. And we will see you all next week for an event in Kenya.
Thanks, Sophie. See you next week.